This is a purse that a really dear friend made for me, and it's made out of a paper bag, and it opens up, and inside we're going to do some things that we think we would find in Mom's purse. So I've asked some of my friends, do you remember what was in your mother's purse? And some of the best answers were a banana, a jar with some water in. Both of those items were in her grandmother's purse. She couldn't remember what was in her mom's purse. One of my friends, I asked her, she said her mother's purse, when she opened it, smelled like powder, which also smelled like her mother. So how fun would it be in our purse, not only to put things in it that were from your mom's purse or your grandmother's purse, what a fun idea, but also a smell that reminds you of your mom or yours. Or maybe you can remember what's in your mom's purse. There might be lipstick, some keys. These are from my purse. And I love this. This is a snail measuring tape. And after you've measured, you push that button, and that goes back inside. A handkerchief. One of my friends said she remembered her mother having a handkerchief in her purse. Glasses. Of course, these are silly glasses that I found here. Always maybe some change in the bottom, a pencil, maybe a coin purse unless the coins had escaped. So to begin, we're going to think about making the purse, and then I want you to put your thinking cap on and think about what would have been in your mother's purse, or ask your mom what was in her mother's purse. We're going to begin with a ruler and a pencil, and we have to measure some pages in our sketchbook. So you're going to have pages. A couple of the pages will be for putting the contents of the purse, and then of course there'll be a page that is the embellishment on your purse. So we need 2 squares that are 5 inches from left to right and 3 3/4 inches wide, and one that will be the part that fits on the front, and that will be 5 inches by 2 inches wide. So you will need those 3 areas measured, and I just used my ruler and drew a line. Then I marked where 3 3/4 inches were, and then I also marked another one that was 3 3/4, and I measured both sides. Then I did a 2-inch by the 5-inch line as well. Also, we're going to need a paper bag. Our paper bag, it measures, we need it 4 inches high, and this paper bag measures 5 inches wide. And we are going to draw a line and cut our paper bag, and that will be what we're going to put our contents in, and also that is going to be the skeleton of our bag. So that's going to be our bag. To begin, we also, as always, are going to use inspiration. I found some designs, and this is just paper. You can look online if you want to on Pinterest. You could actually ask your mother what her favorite designs are. You may make it look like her purse. You may want to look at maybe a piece of clothing that she loves, and we could add that print to your purse too. So this is leopard. How fun would that be with some of these others? So we want a contrast of design, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. You could have stripes, you could have polka dots. Look how fun those polka dots are. And also, this is an all-over design that is a little bit smaller. If you're going to do a couple of designs, I would do a big design and a smaller design, and then either some stripes or some polka dots. To begin, I've got my pieces cut, and I decided that this one is going to be my front, this will be my back, and of course this is the part of my purse that is going to come down. We can use a button for that. I found super cute buttons, and your mom or your grandmother may have a button bottle. Usually grandma has a button bottle that you might find a button, and this one I clipped off the little shank in the back, but you could honestly stitch those on too, or we can just glue them into place. So the front, I'm going to do an all-over design, and I think I liked the flowers that I found for inspiration, which were just some simple flowers. Before I start, I want to put a placement. So I think I want one of them to go here, maybe one of them here, about the same placement apart, and even think about them going off. Oh, I don't like that one there. I'm going to move that a little bit. Even think about them going off of your paper, because the design doesn't stop just because your paper does. So I'm going to begin with just some little 4-petal flowers. And you can draw these if you choose to. A little leaf that is basically an oval that is pointed, and maybe just a tiny bit of a squiggle. If you wanted, you can have a center in this flower too. So a couple of those. I would turn my page, so maybe I want polka dots here, maybe 3 little polka dots, and another one of these flowers right down here. Start with your center. I'm going to move it so my leaf is over here and not in the same spot. So 1, 2, 3, 4 little leaves, and I'm going to put, 4 little petals. I'm going to put my leaf right there, and my squiggle I'm going to have come down like that. One more flower. This one I think I'll move just a tiny bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you would prefer a 5-petal flower to a 4-petal flower, let me show you how you would do that. I would start with my center. I would do 1 petal at the top, and then I would draw an imaginary line down the center, and then I would put 1 petal on one side, 1 petal on the other side, and then fill in my other petals. Then I have a 5-petal flower. Make certain when you do that, you want to keep them fairly close in shape. But again, your center, top petal, imaginary line, left of center, right of center, and fill in. Perfect 5-petal flowers every time. Our leaves, ovals that are pointed. Don't put your vein right down the center. Think about everything coming to the center spot on your flower, and those veins should break your leaf into 2/3 in the front and 1/3 in the back, and they should flow into what would be the center of your flower. Once I have those sketched in, I think I need another one right over here. Again, I did 4-petal flowers, which are just a little bit easier for my placement. Now my other pieces that I'm working on, here's my front tab, and then I have my back. I think I will do on my front, I love these stripes right here, and I can use my ruler if I choose to. My stripes could go this way or my stripes could go this way. You decide. I think I'll do my stripes that way. And I may have a couple bigger stripes, oops, and a smaller stripe too. And I could polka dots, or could we have just a couple great big flowers? Let's do a center and more 4-petal flowers, big old leaf, and again, think about your center, and a squiggle. Not a lot of room for a lot more, but we could put a center here and possibly another petal, so it came out where your petal would. Now, if you needed to get that where it was supposed to be, you could take your tracing paper and trace this guy, lay it on there, and then transfer that pattern so that it worked where you wanted it to be. So there is my design. Simple stripes. I have an all-over pattern, and I have an all-over pattern that is a bigger scale. Scale is the size of your pattern. So this one is a big one, and this one is a small one. So we are almost ready to start to paint. I'll get my watercolor. With my watercolors, I'm going to begin. I put water on my plate, and I'm going to do 3 puddles of water, and I think I'm going to actually do 4 because I want to do my green. So water on my plate. I'm going to use yellow, put color in my water, orange. Oops, those 2 went together, so I think we'll use yellow-orange. I think I like that. And then I'm going to do red. I'm going to lay my watercolor plate down so I don't have it go crazy. Red. For my green, I want this to be quite casual, so I'm going to use green and a little bit of blue. So I have a blue-green that I really like. Make sure that when you mix it, you mix a color that you like. It has to make you happy. Or if we're doing this for mom or for grandma, one that you think they will like. Always lift your water out of a clean place, a clean container of water. If your water's dirty, we know what's going to happen. It's going to change the colors that you have. So I'm putting out also a tiny bit of purple. If you'd like to put a bit of blue in it, you can. So there's my colors mixed. I'm going to come in on my all over design and put my orange and make certain you have enough color. If you need to go back and add a tiny bit more color in your water. And in the center of these, I'm just going to hurry and swoosh those on. In the center, I may just want to pick up a tiny bit of yellow on my brush and touch in the center of each of my flowers. While they're wet, after it settles just a little bit, but they're still wet, you can add just a touch of red if you wanted. Touch it on the paper towel. Water in your brush, color in your water, load your brush, touch on the paper towel, and see how much of that color moves on a wet spot on the paper towel. And if you want to just dab a tiny bit around some of your centers for a variety, you could do that. Now that may also be the color that I'd like to use for my polka dots, and I'm just going to touch those in and not worry that they're not absolutely perfect. And if I decide, well, that's not where I really wanted that, I can move them, can't I? So we're going to do that. Last, my leaves, my blue-green. If, when I'm doing my leaf, I just use my brush, lay it down, twist a tiny bit, and pull it to a point, I get an awesome leaf that way. Doesn't have to be perfect. That I could pull just a tiny bit more, and it will puddle and give you some nice texture. That's how I'm going to do my leaves. You may want to let these dry or go out away just a tiny bit so that they don't run into your flower color, because water will follow water and we'll have a brown color if we get the red and the green mixed together. Touch it and pull, touch it. I can do 2 strokes if I need to. This guy, we need to have that leaf come right here. And perhaps over here, we're just going to see a leaf. And I think that looks pretty darn good. If you think you need more, put more on. Now we're going to let that dry, then we'll erase our lines. But while that's drying, let's talk about what we're going to put inside Mom's purse. So ask Mom before you just go in and start to pull things out of her purse, because she might not be happy if you do that. So look in her purse or ask her about it, and I have some ideas for you. So my snail, what shape is he? Just a circle with a circle. And I actually gave him some bibbly bobbly eyes. And there's the button that you push to make it go back in. And if you wanted a chain, there is this little tiny loop, and those chains are just circles, and they actually connect like that. So if you wanted to add that, there is an example for that. Most often we'll have keys. You guys can find a key and draw a key easy peasy. The one thing I was way excited about, pretty much everybody would probably have a pair of sunglasses in their purse. So I drew my sunglasses. I also drew my side pieces. I drew one side piece like this. Then I cut this out and cut that out. And then I traced around it and did my second one. So once I have this colored, I can actually go in and connect it on the corner just with tape. How cute will that be? And they could be clear glasses or they can be sunglasses. The next thing on Mom's purse, I thought most often we would have a pencil. That's easy for you to draw. Make sure you make it look sharpened, and don't forget the eraser. Curve the lines so it makes your pencil look like it's a round object. The last one that I thought would be fun is Mom may have, or Grandma, a tube of lipstick. Remember when we do ellipses, that our ellipse is a circle that turned on its side starts to get narrower. So I'm going to draw the top ellipse first, which when you're looking down, your ellipse is going to be at a little bit different angle, isn't it? But I'm going to draw my ellipse, even though I'm going to go back in and erase the back side before I paint it, because I'm not going to need that. So there is the outside of my lipstick, and there's my lipstick. And Mom may use her lipstick, and it may have a funny little shape, maybe pointed, it may go off to one side. So see if you notice next time Mom's putting on her lipstick. And again, this is just that shape to begin. Our ellipse will go all the way through, and an ellipse on the bottom. And I want this to look like the outside edge that would unwind and screw up or push up the lipstick. So I will be pulling that around the edge a little bit and erasing that inside. And I know my lipstick that I have starts to curve. The things that I'm going to put in Mom's purse, you might have a gift card. You might want to put a note in there to Mom that you have written. You decide what you want to fill Mom's purse in.